All right, let's get right into it. We are about to pull back the curtain on a really powerful idea, one that might just change the way you see, well, everything. Movies, music, your social media feeds, you name it. We're going to talk about the hidden machinery behind the entertainment you consume every single day.
You know the feeling, right? You're listening to the radio or you fire up a Spotify playlist, and it's like you can almost guess what's coming next. The beat drop, the chorus, the whole structure, it's all just a little too familiar.
And it is definitely not just music. I mean, think about the last big blockbuster you saw. There's a hero, probably with a tragic backstory, a villain who wants to destroy the entire world for some reason, and it all ends with a massive, city-leveling CGI fight. It's fun, yeah, but haven't you kind of seen that movie before, just with a different cape? Well, if you've ever had that nagging feeling of sameness, you're not alone. In fact, you're picking up on something a couple of brilliant thinkers were writing about almost 80 years ago. So no, this isn't a new thing. It's a system they saw being built way back in the 1940s. And that brings us to this huge idea, the cultural assembly line. The core concept here is that our culture, the stuff we love, isn't just happening by magic. It's being manufactured, mass-produced, just like cars coming off an assembly line. The name they gave it was the culture industry. And their argument was that things like movies, radio, and magazines aren't really separate art forms at all. Nope. They're all just different departments in one giant factory, all working to churn out standardized products for all of us to consume. So what's the goal of this factory? It's pretty simple. Uniformity. Like they said in their original text, the whole point of the culture industry is to impress the same stamp on everything. It's designed to smooth out all the rough edges, the quirks, the originality, in favor of something predictable. So when you're watching a movie or listening to a song, you're not really engaging with these separate, unique things. You're just interacting with different branches of the exact same system. They're all marching to the beat of the same drum. And here's the kicker. The industry doesn't even try to hide it. I mean, they call themselves industries, right? The music industry, the film industry, and that becomes the excuse for everything. They can say, hey, this isn't art, it's just business. And that idea is used to justify pumping out the same old stuff over and over again. The logic from their side is actually pretty simple. If you've got millions of people to sell to, the easiest, most efficient thing to do is to just assume everyone wants the same thing. Then you can create one-size-fits-all products to satisfy those needs. It's all about control, disguised as just being practical. Okay, so if everything's the same, how does this system keep going? I mean, why don't we notice? Well, it's because the system is brilliant at giving us the illusion of choice, making us feel like we're the ones picking what we like. Adorno and Horkheimer used a great example for their time, cars. They said any kid could look at a Chrysler and a General Motors car and see that the differences were, well, pretty much just for show. A few different gadgets here, a slightly different engine spec there, but underneath, they were fundamentally the same machine. These little differences just create the feeling of competition and choice. Now let's just apply that same logic to today. Is there really that much of a difference between a Marvel movie and a DC movie? Yeah, the costumes are different, the names change, but the core formula, the hero's journey, the giant threat, the final battle, it's practically identical. The choice you think you're making is mostly an illusion. And the strategy is to cover all the bases. They want to make sure there's a product for every single type of person out there so that nobody can escape the system. Whether you like serious dramas, dumb comedies, or action flicks, don't worry, there's a pre-packaged, standardized product waiting just for you. And this is a perfect illustration of how the system sees us. We're not seen as individuals with our own unique tastes. No, we're just statistics. We're data points on a chart, carved up into income brackets and demographics. We're types who can be easily managed and sold to. Okay, now we're going to get to the part of this idea that is really going to bend your brain a little. What if all that time you spend relaxing, binge watching a show, scrolling through TikTok, what if it's not really an escape at all? This is maybe the most famous and shocking claim of the whole theory. Let that sink in. Amusement is the prolongation of work. The argument is that our free time isn't actually free. It's been designed to look and feel just like our work lives. So just think about the cycle. You finish a long day of maybe boring, repetitive work. You're exhausted, you want to escape.
So you turn on some entertainment that is also kind of repetitive and requires zero effort from you. Your brain just switches off. It's just enough to recharge your batteries so you can get up and go back to work the next day, all without ever stopping to question the whole setup. The culture industry's #1 service is that it does the thinking for you. It pre-digests everything. Before you even sit down to watch, the movie has already decided how you're supposed to feel at every single moment. It's like a laugh track on a sitcom. It's there to tell you this is funny, so you don't even have to think about it. And the consequences of this are actually pretty huge. When every emotion is handed to you, your own imagination doesn't get a workout. There's no room for it. Spontaneity just disappears. And it becomes basically impossible to think critically about what you're watching because you're just being hit with so much so fast. We are literally being trained to be passive consumers, not active participants. So with all of this in mind, what do you do? The real challenge is to start looking for this stuff, to ask yourself, how does this change how I see the shows and the music that I actually love? What do you see now that you maybe didn't see before? Because here's the ultimate trick, the ultimate deception. Every movie trailer, every pop song, it's making you a promise of fun, of happiness, of excitement. But, and this is the key, it's a promise that the culture industry never actually intends to keep. The best way to think about it is like this. The culture industry hands you a beautiful, glossy menu with amazing pictures of food, but it never actually brings you the meal. You just get to look at the menu forever. We consume the promise of happiness, not happiness itself. And over time, we're trained to be satisfied with just that, the promise. So just to recap, it works in a few clever ways. It constantly dangles desire in front of us, but never lets us reach it. It offers us an escape that's really just a revolving door, leading right back to where we started. And it even gets us to laugh at characters who are helpless, which is kind of a way of getting us to laugh at our own powerlessness. Look, the point of all this isn't to say that movies are bad or music is bad, not at all. It's just about seeing the bigger picture, the system that all this stuff exists in. So the real question is for you. The next time you open up Netflix or scroll through TikTok or put your headphones on, just take 1 second. Ask yourself, what system am I plugging into right now? You might be surprised by what you start to see.